If you're using AI tools, you've obviously noticed how quickly new tools are coming out and how quickly the existing tools are being constantly updated. And the space is just moving so fast that to keep up, you got to basically be paying attention on a daily basis to see what's new and what's coming out and all that. And so I was in that space for a while. In other words, trying to keep up with things and being on top of everything and watching the YouTube videos and all that to find out how to use the new stuff and all that. But I'm now I stopped because it was just way too stressful and I couldn't keep up no matter how hard I tried. So I'm making this video about the importance of mindfulness and focus and presence with regard to AI tools. And of course, this applies, beyond AI tools. It applies to internet, anything on the internet and smartphones, basically. But I'm just using AI tools because that's where I've been putting a lot of my time and attention. So, and it's just obviously the hottest thing in the world right now in terms of tech. This was something that in 2021, I got into the NFT space, and because I have a background in the film industry, I was a writer and director in the US film industry, Hollywood, and then my first movie came out in 2019, and then I was supposed to shoot my second movie, direct my second movie in 2020. COVID shut down the film industry, and then basically in 2021, I got into the NFT space because that exploded. If you are not familiar, it was, I think in 2021, it was like something like $5 billion of NFTs were traded, bought and sold. And so it was a huge, boom at that point in time. And a lot of these projects wanted to create story worlds for their characters. And they wanted to also do comics and movies and various forms of games, various forms of narrative entertainment. Because I had this screenwriting background, I started working for the projects to create their story worlds. But being in the space, I was trying to keep up with everything. And it was all moving so fast. I'd be on like first Clubhouse and then Twitter Spaces all day, just like listening, talking to people, and on Twitter all day, just keeping up with what was going on in the space. And eventually I did it for a while, but eventually I burned out and it was just too much. And then once I got into the AI tools, a year or maybe a year and a half ago, I think at this point is when ChatGPT first came out. When I first got into the AI tools, then I was doing it again. I was trying to keep up with everything. And I just realized, I'm doing it again. And I burnt out last time. And so I got to stop right now or I'm going to burn out again. And I started taking an approach that I have been working on, but am good at now so I want to make this video, where not only did I stop trying to keep up, but I realized there's actually no point in trying to keep up. And unless your job or your content is specifically about like sharing the news of what's going on, and if you want to keep up to date on the news, Matt Wolf, check out Matt Wolf on YouTube and whatever other platforms, because somehow he's keeping up to date, it seems, or the most up to date of anyone I've seen. But point being that unless your job or content strategy is to share the news, you don't need to keep up, because it's all moving so fast that whatever you know now will change tomorrow. So you don't really need to keep up, because the tools are just going to keep changing. They're going to keep getting better. And it's not going to be that important that you are up to date. And it's also not going to be that important that you are great at every iteration of the tools. Like, you don't have to master the current version of any of the tools or the current tools themselves, as those will change most likely too. Because they're just going to change. That's going to get different. So what you learn is going to become obsolete. And also, the tools are going to keep getting easier to use, which is something I just want to get to people's heads, is the tools will keep getting easier because the people who make the tools, the companies that make the tools, they're incentivized to make the tools as easy to use as possible, because then more people will use them and then they'll make more money. So you don't need to worry about learning how to make great prompts if that's complicated for you or whatever. It's not that important, because it's just going to get easy to the point of you're going to be able to just describe what you want and it'll give it to you, and you won't have to use any kind of special language or anything. And so don't worry about trying to get good at the tools. Now, that doesn't mean don't use them. I'm using them every day. It just means don't worry about having to keep up to date, don't have to master the current version. You don't have to know every little thing. If that turns you on and you like exploring and tinkering, yeah, go for it. I'm not trying to stop you. But the point is not to stress out about it. So do whatever still feels comfortable for you. And don't worry about becoming a master at the tools. And because what's actually important, I'm telling you what not to do, but what's actually important to do is to start developing your process using AI tools and also doing your part of it. This is the key. The key is that in the future, all art and business, the involvement of humans is going to be AI-powered creatives, right? They're going to be creative people, meaning they're bringing their own unique human creativity to whatever they're making, and they're using AI tools to make everything faster, cheaper, etc. So it's important that you are developing your process of using your unique creativity, but also using the tools to power that, right? So you can't be relying too much on the tools, which is why I'm saying don't focus so much on the tools. Just focus on your process using the tools, but also putting your own creativity, voice, style, humanness into whatever you're making. And the point is not to get too consumed with tools, and also not to get too consumed with social media and the internet and smartphones. In general, this is going to destroy your creativity. And if your creativity is destroyed or limited, or you never developed it in the first place, you're not going to be useful in the future, because an AI will be able to do whatever you're doing, and there won't be a job or a place for you, really. So the point is that you got to develop your own unique creativity, and any kind of distraction, internet, social media, smartphone, AI tools, is going to hurt you. It's going to reduce that. It's going to get in your way, and it's going to take away from your unique creativity. So you have to carve out time and energy, which includes mental energy, to focus on whatever your creative pursuit is, your creative skill set, and really develop it. And you got to do that regularly, daily, ideally. And it's the same thing. You got to treat it the same as working out at the gym. If you don't do it regularly, you're going to get out of shape. And if you're out of shape, again, you're going to be replaced by an AI, and not in the not too distant future. We're not that far away. Really removing distractions, putting the smartphone in another room. This is really essential. They did a study where they gave people intelligence and working memory tests, and one group had their phones on the desk when they were taking the test. Another group had the phone in the pocket or in the bag next to them, and then another group had the phones in the other room. You can guess the scores, right? Lowest, of course, was phone on the table. Second lowest, phone in the pocket or bag. And the highest were, of course, the people that had the phone in the other room. So the phone is literally making you dumber, even if you're not using it, even if it's just there, because it's drawing attention, and it's drawing attention. And if you take away attention, you reduce working memory, you reduce intelligence. You got to put the phone in the other room and spend time every day developing your creative skill set, whatever that looks like. And that's just super important. And furthermore, it's your creative skill set, but it's also your unique humanness. And that's a very broad thing to say, obviously, humanness. But human emotion and human connection and the ability to really be present and connect with people, this is going to become rarer and rarer in our world because of both AI and also just because of smartphones and distraction. And you noticed this already. People are much less present. People are constantly checking their phones. And because they're spending so much time on the phone, which stimulates the brain and the mind, people are just much more in their heads and much less in their bodies and in their feelings. And when you're not in your body, it's much harder to connect. The ability to connect with other humans is becoming rare, and with AI going to be dominating, it's going to become a unique competitive advantage for anyone that can really do it. And for anyone that can really inject real emotion and real deep feeling and real deep thinking, if it's really on a deep level, into their work. And any kind of work, not just art, but business too. Because people connect through emotions. They connect through feeling something. And if you make people feel something, they're going to respond to whatever your thing is, whether it's art, whether it's content, whether it's business. Example of a Nike or an Apple, people see the swoosh, people see the Apple, they have an emotional reaction to it. And that's why they're two of the biggest brands in the world. And this is just key stuff to work on and develop. And a lot of it has to do with connecting with yourself, meaning spending time with yourself without the distraction of the phone or the internet or the computer, and really going inward and connecting to how you feel. Meditation, different kinds of meditation are very good at this. Taking walks on your own without the phone, not listening to podcast or even music. Other than some music, if it's with words, but certain kinds of music that are like meditation music or something like that, or even just classical music. But that kind of music can be good, but not stuff with words, because then it's going to stimulate your mind too much. The point is spending time with yourself where you're really going inward and connecting to how you are feeling, because then you're going to be able to take that and put it into your work or your art and your interactions. And so that's just really an essential thing to do, is to connect to that. And then also same thing, right? Like I said, with the creative muscles and spending time without any distractions, just developing those. Thanks for watching the video. And yeah, start putting some emphasis on this and just realizing how much time you're distracted by everything, and how that's taking away from your ability to focus and create. And then also, yeah, if you are worried about trying to keep up with the AI tools, stop worrying about that and just relax, because they're going to move so fast, it's not worth it. And you just need to, like I said, develop your own process that includes the AI tools, but you don't need to master the current ones. They're just going to get developed to something new and be easier to use. And thanks for watching, and tune back in tomorrow for the next video.